How's it going, guys? It is Erdy here, and it's time for episode number 24 of our Colorado Avalanche BAGM mode. Now, I know a lot of you guys are wondering what happened to that. You were pretty much gone for a month. Yes, I was. It was hard to record 20 minutes without being interrupted, but I finally have my room fixed up. My parents are gone for about 3 hours, so I'm going to record a couple GM modes. So, anyways, to a lot of you who are new to the channel, you probably maybe watch a couple episodes or something like that, but if you need a recap and you want to watch this episode, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you basically what's been going on with our team. So to start off, I think it's under, let's take a look at our team that we've kind of set up for the long run. We built young early on, but we picked up a couple older players that kind of helped us out throughout the years. So anyways, here's our forwards. We've got Ladd, Landeskog, Yakupov, McKinnon, Ritchie, Schenn, Landeskog, Yakupov, McKinnon, Ritchie, Schenn as well, pretty much the core of our team. Ladd threw it in there, and he helped us win the Stanley Cup this past year against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Then we have McGinn, O'Reilly, Hartman, and then Ernie, Lee, and McClement. McClement will probably be leaving our team, but we've got a couple young players here, Hartman and Ernie, that could develop into great players. Hartman, by the way, as you can see with his defense, it's a 95 defensive awareness, so he's a great penalty killer, and that was pretty much our trouble throughout the first couple years for our team. On defense, we have Ekman Larsson, Eric Johnson, Justin Schultz, Tyler Myers, Tyson Barrie, and Stephen Elliott. So pretty much all around shutdown D-men. Johnson, Myers pretty good. Schultz and Ekman Larsson great on the offense. And we've got Barrie and Elliott rounding out our third line on defense. So anyways, let's take a look at our goalies real quick. And as you can see, we have Ryan Miller and Calvin Pickard. Pickard's been backing up well, and we got Miller in a trade with Myers. We traded away a couple first, I believe, and it was a package deal. I forgot for who it was mainly, but he's been a stud for us. I think he's won the Vezina a couple times. Ted Lindsay as well a couple times. Let's take a look at the awards, and you guys can see, I guess let's take a look at how our team's been doing for the past couple of years. And I believe it's under right here. I'm trying to find it. How our team's been doing. I don't think statistics. There we go. All right. So in our first year, we ended up getting 93 points, and we got eliminated in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Then we went on to get 99 points. I think we finished like third in the conference, and we made it to the Stanley Cup final, but we did lose to the Detroit Red Wings, or I believe. Then we lost the first round to the eventual winner, Chicago Blackhawks. And then finally last year, we had 115 points. I think that's where our team finally gelled together. A couple big additions like Andrew Ladd and those kind of guys, and really helped us out, and we ended up winning the Stanley Cup. So that's basically what's been happening on for the past couple of years. Our staff abilities, I guess we can upgrade our amateur scout, and yep, there we go. So we'll do that real quick. Confirm purchase and exit. And so let's take a look at the awards. Well, who's been playing well recently? You'll see that, as you can see, we won a Stanley Cup. Chicago Blackhawks were around before us. They actually eliminated us in the first round. Then Detroit won twice in a row before. President's Trophy, we finally won in the past year as well. Clarence Campbell, I guess that doesn't matter. There you can see, though, Detroit 3 years in a row off the Stanley Cup finals. They won 2 out of the 3, and we lost in 2014, 2015 to them as well. Art Ross Trophy, Crosby twice, Stamkos twice in the past 2 years. Then Crosby here with the Hart. Kessel won the Hart twice, actually, and Giroux once thrown in there. James Norris, Justin Schultz won it twice with us as a member, and then Mike Green won it this year. Then as with the Lady Bing, we've got Zach Parise, Kessel, Sedin Stamkos. I guess that doesn't really matter. McKinnon won the Calder this year, though, so he stepped up big. As you can see, Conn Smythe, Ryan Miller finally won it this year. It was Crawford before, and then Howard twice before that. Miller, though, 3 years the Vezina with our team. So that trade turned out to be plenty of a good trade, because Ryan Miller basically stepped up and led our team pretty much the past couple of years. William Jennings also won that one. Bill Masterson doesn't matter. Frank J. Selke, best defensive forward. Datsy won for 3 years, and Crosby took it over this year. And there you can see the Ted Lindsay. Ryan Miller actually won that this year. So he's voted as the best player by the members of the NHL. And then Maurice Richard kind of been thrown around. Neil, Carter, Grabner, and Hall. Grabner surprising there. But that's pretty much it. We've got a couple. We don't really have much prospects. All our players have kind of made it to the NHL and are probably most likely staying here. But we'll sim up to the draft. I don't think we have anyone really. I don't think we have. We don't have a good draft pick. I don't even know if we have a first rounder, and I don't think there's any players that are worth it. I guess I'll check it after the prospects game. Don't want to play it, but I want to stop the sim so we could check out who, if there is any good players. I think there was a couple of guys that we scouted around that might be good players, but as of right now, let's just check the stats, see if there's any good overall players that we could jump into our roster right away. Clapperton. Other than that, no one really. A couple 70s. Top prospects, White. The 75, Hofel. But other than that, no like 80 overall players that can really jump into our roster and play right away. Goalies, also not the best, so we'll leave it as is, and we'll jump right into the draft. Most likely, might make some trades actually at the draft just to see if there's any players we could get out of our team, and because Ryan Miller might be willing, we might have to trade him. I think he's already 36, 38. Let's take a look at the retired players, though. As you can see, again, Lamar, Thorne, LeCapelier, a couple good players there. Anyone from our team? No one from our team for skaters, but goalies, let's hope Miller's not gone, and he isn't, so that's good. We could still trade him away. I have my eyes on a couple players. Let's take a look at the trading block real quick. We'll just go with the coach's recommendation for that, and we'll take a look at see who else is. Oh, we can't look at that. Alright, so anyways, we'll go into the draft. I know one player that I really wanted to get was Robin Lehner. Islanders have the first pick. We're pretty much not getting anyone for a while. All teams, a couple trades here. Oduya over to the Leafs. But other than that, nothing really big, I'm guessing. Yeah. Brian Campbell over to Washington for Neuwirth and Uchgary, so not too bad. But let's take a look and see. We have no trade offers, but what we'll do is one player. Let's take a look at the goalies. A couple goalies here. See who's good. Anyone young and talented. Pretty much no one on Anaheim. Boston, I'm guessing they have Rask, who's already 30. We want to get a guy who's young and still good. Makarov. What is his potential? 3.5. So let's try to look for someone better. Calgary. Carolina, Ward is a little bit too old. Chicago, no. Dynsk might be an interesting player to go after, but I don't think his potential is too good. For Green, it's a tough choice because he has 1 year left, so we probably won't be able to get him right now at the draft. Maybe like after free agency starts. But as you can see, one player I really wanted to get was the goalie from Ottawa, and that is Robin Lehner. There you go, 85 overall, 25 years old, already signed for 3 years, 4.5, and he's got 4 yellow potential. Might be a very good player to get, and if we could trade away Miller somehow for him and still get some kind of asset back from them, which I don't think they really have, but we can always just take a look, see who they have in that's decent in potential that could help out our team in the short run. Actually, you know what? I'd say let's wait until actually everyone is re-signed, and then we could make some trades at the free agent when the free agents start. So let's do auto draft. It doesn't really matter to me at all. At this point, once we get into re-sign players, we'll have to take a look at our team and evaluate if it's even worth going after Lehner at this point. But anyways, let's go into this re-sign phase, and we've got quite a bit of players to re-sign, a couple of important ones, I believe. And just going to get my handy dandy calculator, because if you guys didn't know, if you're playing GM mode, what you can do is if you re-sign for 0.85 of what they're asking you for, you'll definitely get them. So let's go to the contract screen, and we'll take a look at it. And the first player, the Yakupov, as you can see, 86 overall. We've had him inside for another 3 years, or 4 years actually, at 3.675. So that was quite a bit of a deal. But yeah, McClement, Holden, Lee will re-sign. But in terms of overall, we got a couple RFAs. But our best players are pretty much all signed up. First player here, Tyson Barrie, definitely want to re-sign him. We'll have to give him a new contract. And he's asking for quite a bit. So I might bump that. Yeah, let's go 3 years, 4.625 times 0.85 gives you 3.95. Around there, 3.95. So let's go to 3.95. So this is a really handy tip if anyone ever wanted to, that should be good enough, and he'll probably most likely accept it. So that's a little glitch there in the game that a lot of people don't know about, but is very effective. Stephen Elliott also wanted to re-sign. We could probably get him for a little cheaper, not too cheap, but 3 years. Actually, let's go 4 years, 3.555 times 0.85 will give you around 3.05 million. Which is a good price There we go. Actually, we'll go 3.03. And that will be a good deal. He'll help out our D. I know we have a little bit, not too much cap, but we don't have to re-sign any big name guys. So a guy like Hartman, we could re-sign for relatively cheap, hopefully. Yeah, look at that. We'll get him for 5 years at 2.125. He should be a long member of our team with that great defensive awareness. And he'll be at 1.81. There we go. That should be good enough. 22 years old still, so he could still get a little bit better. Ernie, this guy might turn into quite a bit of a stud. Lee will negotiate a contract, 81 overall. Definitely could stay up on our team, and we'll probably just give him 2 years at 2.12. Actually, you know what? We might need the flexibility, so we'll give him a 1 year contract, and at 0.85 gives you 1.75. So that's quite a bit of a good deal for a guy who's an 80 overall player, who's definitely a solid player on our fourth line. He came out of nowhere pretty much from our AHL team, just developed and got into our team. So anyways, after that, I'm pretty much sure we'll give him a qualifying offer. These guys I signed because look at the stats: slap shot power 99, wrist shot 98. They pretty much tear up the AHL. Our AHL team hasn't even won yet, but they're not doing too bad. 3.5 red. We probably won't develop into anything, but we got to get some players on our AHL team. And then pretty much after that, no prospects on our team. Let's take a look at the goalies. I don't think we have to re-sign Miller. He's only got 1 more year on his contract, so that's a good thing. We'll probably trade him away after this year because he'll want big money after that. But let's go ahead and we'll sim again. We'll sim a couple days and we'll see if we re-sign everyone, and hopefully we'll have a couple some cap room to trade away some players. I'll most likely be looking to move away some more guys, including Eric Johnson and maybe some more players. I just need to go ahead and sim a couple days, and yeah, Eric Johnson might be leaving our team because he's already hit 29 or 30 years old, and you don't want a guy sticking up. Well, I'm trying to keep this team youthful, and once they have their trade value deteriorates, so pretty much everyone resigned. So that's good to see there. And we still got 4 million cap. So let's sim to the end, and we should be good. Also, I think there's IT Colo, our AHL goalie, that I'm going to have to send an offer sheet to. But there's a couple guys I have in mind. Cody Sechi. There's a British guy who plays for Minnesota Wild in this game whose name is Trevelyan, who's also like 87 overall. And those guys might be good players to get. Aaron Ekblad as well, who develops into a pretty good defenseman by the end of this GM mode. And so we're going into year 5, and let's take a look at who else there is. I don't think there's anyone else we need to re-sign. These guys pretty much not needed. Yeah, I think we're good. McClement, won't be seeing him back. He was a good player though, won a cup, and we'll let him go, get some more money because I don't want to pay too much for him. And IT Cola will just tender a qualifying offer and should be good enough. Alright, so Nobles Burke are okay. Let's sim over to this day. We'll see who's on the free agent market, if we go re-sign some players. But first I want to make some trades, and we'll take a look at who we can get, what kind of players there are available, and we'll go from there. So, trading block, okay, continue, that's fine. Alright, so let's take a look at our team as of right now. Trade negotiations. I guess let's go into contracts first. So, bearing development, which I'm hoping some players do, such as McKinnon and Richie, our team pretty much is set with these guys. These 6 are staying on our team. Then we've got McGinn, O'Reilly, Ernie, Hartman, or Lee, and then we need 1 more forward. On defense, what we do have is Ekman Larson, Myers, Johnson, Schultz, Barry, and Elliott. So Johnson most likely going to look for a replacement, and then we'll have to let go of Miller because he's already turning 36, and if we can get something in return for him, that's a lot better than just giving him away. So let's take a look at the trading block. We'll see whether we can find some players. Okay, so what we want is a let's say second line D-man, or any D-man who is under 25 but has at least 4-star potential, or 4, that's good. And that should be good. So let's take a look, search the list, and as you can see, Ekman Larson up there, Seth Jones, Fowler, Riley. I don't think we'll get these guys for Johnson, but if we take a look at overall, there might be a couple guys. These guys pretty much out of range. Trevelyan might be a good player to trade for. He's got 1 year left with a .93. We got Aaron Ekblad for 2 years at .65, which might be good with the flexibility for sorry, what's his name? When we have to re-sign a couple players like Ladd and McKinnon and those guys. So it might be good to have him to start off here because Trevelyan will have to re-sign for quite a bit in the next year. Larson, he's a little bit older, 24. So these guys, these three are good players, but I'm going to try to go after Ekblad. So it'll be Ekblad for Johnson. I think Johnson's trade value is a lot higher. He is green as well, so we could try to get someone else from them. I don't know who we would be able to get. Maybe a Barchesi in there. I think the trade value would be way too big. And 2 years, 4.9 isn't that great. But maybe a guy like Sean Monahan to throw in there. We could re-sign him for cheap next year. Might develop into a player because I think he has 4.5 yellow. Yes, he does. So he might not be a bad player to use. Seeloff, who's got, what, 4? Yeah, 4-star. Yellow. Horak might be a good player to throw into our roster. But Seeloff is a cheap option who we might be able to keep on our bench. So let's see if this would go through. Seeloff and Ekblad for Johnson. Ekblad will step into our roster right away, a top 4 D-man. Seeloff could be a backup. And we could always trade away Elliott or Barry if he develops. So he'll probably stay in the AHL for now. But you know what? Let's first try Monahan. If we could get a guy like Monahan who could develop into a solid player, have a couple prospects on our team, we can always trade him away if he develops. Let's see if that goes through. No, it does not. So we're going to have to think a bit. Trade value is a little high there. So if we could get a guy like Seeloff in there, that'd be great. So Seeloff, Ekblad for Eric Johnson. I think the trade values match up. But it'll be a tough choice because they really like Ekblad, who is, look at that, Rishaw Power 99. Holy smokes. But let's see if that goes through. No, it does not. So we're in a little bit of a situation here where we got to think. Landon Ferraro might not be a bad player to sign to our roster. Yeah, 3.5 yellow. A couple guys they have here who aren't too bad, but let's go after Landon Ferraro. Throw him in here. He might help out our team as of right now. And that does go through. So Landon Ferraro and Ekblad for Eric Johnson. Not bad at all. I think that's a decent trade. That changes up our team for sure. Ekblad, a much worse player than Johnson. But still, he might develop because there is that always a preseason development kind of thing that happens. But Landon Ferraro steps in. And with that, we don't really have to sign a forward because he steps in nicely as our 12th forward. So anyways, let's take a look at the forwards right now. We have Ladd, Yakupov, Landeskog, so 6 right there, 9, and then Ferraro, Hartman, Lee. So we have a pretty much forwards are set. We might sign a couple guys like 79s just to help out our AHL team and step in case of injuries for playoffs if we do have that for like 1 year. Let's just take a look at who there's actually is on the free agent market. No one really special. Might sign a couple guys like, let's see, Volsky. Cheap guys that we can get for really 1 year, pretty much. Weiss, Eriksson, some guys like these that could step in, and they won't be too bad on our roster. Any potential guys here? Panik, who might be a decent guy to pick up, but he's already 26. Koklachev, maybe. Let's take a look at goalies. As you can see by overall, Elliott, DiPietro, don't really need anyone at this point, so we can't re-sign players to help out our team, but we can trade. So we're pretty much playing like Alex Anthopoulos with the Blue Jays. We're going to have to trade to build up our team because the cap is really tight. And let's take a look at the goalies first. So trading block, because we need to move Miller. And if we can get a half-decent goalie back, that'd be great. So I think that's good enough. We'll apply that. Search the list. So there is quite a bit of goalies, but in terms of overall, goalies develop very, very slowly. So Lehner, Dynsk, Campbell. Lehner's the best overall, so he could help us win. And I don't want to drop down to Dynsk, who's an 83, and potentially lose our team, because right now our team's in the core. They've all got their peak years. They're all developing fast, so I think Lehner would be a good pickup to get for Miller. And as you see, starter, he's pretty much the only starter there on so far here. I know he has potential of 4. Dynsk is 4.5 green. There's 4.5 yellow by Vielu. Benoit, Feibelkorn, but all these guys are a little bit older and they haven't really been developing that fast. Veilleux might be a good guy, but right now I think going after Lehner would help out our team very, very much, so that the fact that we don't really drop off by trading away Miller. And the risk we take with keeping Miller is that he drops off to an 86 now, Lehner goes up, and he ends up retiring next year. So I think this trade 1-for-1 would go through, but let's see if we could add some more players to a roster that would help out our team in the long run. So they've got a guy like Rive, who's 3.5 yellow. Any potential guys here? I guess not by the trade value. No, there isn't. We might be able to throw in a first there. Let's just try that, I think. But let's just take a look at they see any other players they have. Won't get any of these guys. Cody Tsechi, probably won't be able to throw him in there. But a guy like Conacher might help out our team. Method, Kopta was his potential for red. Let's try to throw in like a guy like Tsechi in there. If we could get that off and pull that one off, take off the first. The trade values aren't really that equal. We could try it and then maybe throw in one of our firsts, which we have in 2019. But I don't know if this will go through. That way we can keep our lineup up there and no, it won't go through. So let's ask for a first and laner for Miller. Might go through. Nope. Because I don't want to just go Miller for laner. Let's say like a third. Probably won't actually a second. Yeah, third or fourth. Let's just try that. I don't think there's anyone else that we could really go after. Won't go through. Okay, the last player that we're going to try before we go 1-for-1 is going to be Kopta, who isn't too bad of a player. 59 overall, but he's got the potential for, and he's a pretty cheap player. Could help out our AHL team. Actually, you know what? Let's go after someone that could actually help our AHL team. So Hoffman or Stone might not be bad players, but judging by potential, they really don't have anything to give. So let's try Kopta and laner for Miller. It doesn't go through. All right, so this is what's going to happen. Miller for laner straight up, and it does go through. All right, so Miller's gone. Thank you for your 4 years of service for the Colorado Avalanche. Definitely a player that helped out our team quite a bit. And now, after we look at contracts, as you can see, our team is pretty much set. Looking good so far here. Ladd, Ritchie, Yakupov, Landeskog, McKinnon, Shen, McKinn, O'Reilly, Ernie. Our top 6 players are great. And then Ferraro, Hartman, and Lee. Not bad at all. On D, we have Ekman, Larson, Schultz, Myers, Ekblad, Barry, and Elliott. If these guys develop, we're pretty much set. And then goalies, Laner, and Picard to help out our team there. We also have around 8 million cap, so we could sign a couple guys that can help out our team pretty much immediately. But we do have already good players in that spot. So if we could go after guys who don't ask for too much and maybe, let's say, have good defensive awareness. So let's go forwards with high defense rating. There we go. So Zach Smith, a guy like this who can step up on our team. Let's take a look at his defensive awareness, 89. Really could help out our penalty kill. We could throw him in there in the playoffs. So yeah, let's say we go after a guy like Zach Smith for 1 year at 2.5. The thing is, we're not going to re-sign them next year. We're just getting players to fill in our salary cap, and they'll definitely help out our team. Anyone with like a good shot here, Jonas Rask, he can probably help out our AHL team. LeBlanc, Drew LeBlanc, McRae. You know what, maybe might pick up Drew LeBlanc. We could throw some guys in the AHL, and 1 year contract for him. We'll go like 3.5, or that should be. We'll see if that's good enough. There's a couple other teams that want him, but I think that should be good. We'll take a look at the overalls. I know we need a better backup defenseman, like an AHL defenseman to step in case there's injuries in the playoffs. And by the way, if you guys are watching this and you're new to the series, then you'll notice that in play I turn off injuries until playoffs. So a guy like Jesse Blacker wouldn't be too bad. 1 year at like 1.25. He can step up for our team. Sauer, Conan won't be too bad. He might be a good player. We'll give him 1. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so we'll advance it a couple days. We're starting to get a little bit up there in terms of time for the episode, but I kind of had to explain quite a bit of it. So we'll see if we get anyone once it all goes through. Okay, LeBlanc came to our team, Smith came to our team, Conan, Blacker all came to our team. And now after the cap changes, we're at 3 mil. So we can still sign someone, but let's keep it for a rainy day in case we need to trade away someone. But right now our team is looking very, very much set for the next season. We've got Ladd, Landeskog, McKinnon, the same guys. But now we have Ferraro, we have Hartman, we have LeBlanc, we have Lee, we have Smith. We have a lot of choices here. If someone's not playing well, we could always get in someone to step up. And then we got Blacker and Conan ready to come in case there's an injury in the playoffs. So that's one thing we didn't have in the last couple of years. We got lucky with the injuries last year that no one, McKinnon went down, but we still won. But yeah, so that, I guess, will wrap up this episode of GM Mode. Next episode, we'll start off with the preseason already simmed, and you guys will see my team and how it's looking. So, hope you guys enjoyed episode number 24 of our Colorado Avalanche BAGM Mode, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.